History, like the cosmos, is filled with mysteries. Events so profound, so shrouded in the mists of time, that we find ourselves eternally drawn to their enigma. The crucifixion of Jesus of Nazareth is one such event. A story that echoes through millennia, shaping beliefs and challenging our understanding of justice, power and faith. Who were the players in this cosmic drama? Was it the iron fist of Rome, the tangled webs of religious authority, or the fickle whims of a mob? Join us as we embark on a journey through the annals of history. Together we'll examine the evidence, peel back the layers of time and confront the question that has lingered for centuries. Who really crucified Jesus? The answer, like the universe itself, is a tapestry woven from threads of politics, religion, and the very essence of human nature. Let's begin. In the heart of Jerusalem, amidst the bustling city and the hallowed halls of the temple, resided the Sanhedrin, the supreme council of Jewish religious leaders. These men, the high priests, scribes and Pharisees, were the guardians of Jewish law, tradition and faith. Yet they were also a study in the complexities of human nature. They were learned men, deeply devoted to their understanding of God's word. But within their ranks simmered a potent brew of fear, pride, and a desperate need to maintain their grip on power. Jesus, a charismatic preacher from Galilee, arrived in Jerusalem like a whirlwind, challenging their interpretations of the scriptures and captivating the hearts of the common people. His teachings, filled with radical love and compassion, resonated with the masses, but struck fear into the hearts of the established order. Here was a man who spoke of a kingdom not of this world, a kingdom of love and forgiveness. To the Sanhedrin, his words were not just heresy, they were a direct threat to their authority, their carefully constructed world. And so the seeds of conflict were sown. The Sanhedrin, seeing their power waning and their authority challenged, accused Jesus of blasphemy, a crime punishable by death. They arrested him under the cover of darkness, a clandestine operation designed to silence the voice that dared to challenge their dominion. But was their motive purely religious zeal, or did it stem from a more human desire, the preservation of power and privilege? The Jewish leaders, for all their religious authority, lacked one crucial power, the authority to execute. For that, they needed the Roman prefect, the man who held Judea in the iron grip of the Roman Empire, Pontius Pilate. A shrewd politician and a pragmatist, Pilate found himself caught between the rock of Roman authority and the hard place of Jewish religious fervor. The Sanhedrin, masters of manipulation, presented Jesus to Pilate as a dangerous rebel, a threat to the stability of Rome itself. They accused him of claiming to be the King of the Jews, a title that carried with it not just religious but also political implications. Pilate, wary of any challenge to Roman rule, was forced to tread carefully. He questioned Jesus, searching for any sign of sedition, any justification for the Sanhedrin's accusations. Yet, according to the Gospels, Pilate found nothing worthy of death in this man from Nazareth. Torn between his duty to Rome and his own sense of justice, Pilate faced an impossible choice. He could appease the Sanhedrin and condemn an innocent man, or he could defy them and risk igniting a firestorm of unrest in Jerusalem. In the end, political expediency triumphed over justice, and Pilate washed his hands of the affair, sentencing Jesus to death by crucifixion. Chapter 3. To the Roman soldiers, hardened by years of war and conquest, the crucifixion of Jesus was just another task, another soul to be extinguished in the name of Roman order. They were the instruments of Rome's power, their very presence a symbol of imperial might. Yet, beneath the polished armor and the disciplined facade, beat the hearts of men, capable of both cruelty and compassion. The Gospels paint a vivid picture of the Roman soldier's role in the crucifixion. They mocked Jesus, dressed him in a purple robe and a crown of thorns, a cruel parody of his supposed kingship. They beat him mercilessly, their whips tearing at his flesh, and finally, with cold efficiency, they nailed him to the cross. The ultimate symbol of Roman power and punishment. Were these soldiers truly heartless monsters, reveling in the suffering of another human being? Or were they simply following orders, cogs in a machine far larger than themselves, desensitized to the brutality they were ordered to inflict? The answer, like the nature of humanity itself, is complex and nuanced, a tapestry woven from threads of obedience, indifference, and perhaps a flicker of remorse. Chapter 4. In the shadow of the cross, amidst the jeering and the cries of anguish, stood a crowd of onlookers. These were the ordinary people of Jerusalem, drawn to the spectacle of crucifixion, their reactions a microcosm of human nature itself. Some were swept up in the frenzy, fueled by the Sanhedrin's accusations and the mob mentality that often grips large crowds. They shouted insults, mocked Jesus' suffering, and demanded his death. Others watched in stunned silence, their hearts heavy with a mixture of fear, pity, and perhaps a dawning realization that something truly terrible was unfolding before their eyes. They were caught between the pronouncements of their religious leaders and the unsettling sight of an innocent man being put to death. The Gospels tell us that Pilate offered the crowd a choice, to free Jesus or to free Barabbas, a convicted murderer. The crowd, swayed by the Sanhedrin's influence and caught in the grip of fear, chose Barabbas, condemning Jesus to death. Were they truly responsible for his fate, or were they manipulated by those in power? Their voices amplified and their choices manipulated to serve a sinister agenda. Chapter 5. For Christians throughout the ages, the question of who crucified Jesus has a different answer. It was not solely the actions of men, but the will of God, a plan set in motion before the dawn of time. This belief, deeply rooted in Christian theology, hinges on the concept of Jesus' death as a sacrifice, a necessary atonement for the sins of humanity. The prophet Isaiah, writing centuries before Jesus' birth, foretold of a suffering servant, one who would bear the weight of the world's sins upon his shoulders. Jesus, in the Christian faith, fulfilled this prophecy, willingly embracing his fate on the cross. This belief, while offering comfort and meaning to billions, raises profound questions about free will, predestination, and the nature of God himself. If Jesus' death was preordained, were the actions of those who condemned him irrelevant? Was it all part of a divine plan, a cosmic drama in which humanity played a tragic but necessary role? These are questions that have echoed through the centuries, shaping theological debate and challenging our understanding of the divine. The question of who crucified Jesus is a journey into the heart of human nature. It speaks to our capacity for both immense love and unimaginable cruelty, our yearning for justice and our willingness to inflict suffering. It is a question that transcends time, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about power, faith, and the choices we make. Was it the religious leaders desperate to maintain their grip on power? Was it Pontius Pilate bowing to political pressure? Was it the Roman soldiers simply following orders? Or was it the crowd swept up in a frenzy of fear and manipulation? Perhaps the answer lies in the convergence of all these forces, a perfect storm of human failings that culminated in an act of unimaginable cruelty. Like many of the universe's greatest mysteries, there may never be a definitive answer, yet the very act of seeking, of wrestling with these questions, brings us closer to understanding the complexities of our own humanity. For in the end, the story of Jesus' crucifixion is not just a historical event. It is a mirror reflecting our own capacity for both darkness and light.